Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for your testimony today. I'd like to start just by clarifying something. I heard a reference earlier to the bill. I think someone indicated that an Abdul Muttalib situation where someone's picked up in the United States would have to be sent to Gitmo under the bill. That's not the case. They would just simply be detained by DOD. And they would not necessarily have to go to Gitmo. But just want to clarify that. Mr. Secretary, I want to talk a little bit about the Abdul Muttalib situation. If that sort of incident, Christmas Day incident, were to happen today, would DOD be consulted in any way? Is there a role for DOD to play in that process if it were to happen today? And
yes.
Both of you. Yes.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on that?
I believe
Part of written protocol, or is this just?
No, it's not part of the written protocol. And I hesitate on hypotheticals. But
sure,
if an individual who had attempted to commit a terrorist act, and it appeared that he was part of AQ or an affiliate, in other words, he had trained at a camp, an AQ-run camp, were arrested here in the United States in the process of trying to commit a terrorist act as part of the ongoing conflict. I believe it's the case that we, along with the intelligence community, the interagency, would be consulted about the disposition of that individual, yes.
Okay. If there's any doubt, would you confirm that and maybe get back to us on that, just if there's any doubt? I mean, if the answer is yes, the answer is yes. Secondly, Mr. Secretary and Mr. Johnson, this may be better suited to you, Mr. Johnson. Many members I've talked with here have had serious concerns about allegations that sensitive materials have been provided to detainees, potentially through their attorneys. And my understanding is there is a security protocol in place for federal habeas corpus cases that provide for sort of a walled-off privilege team and to ensure that the classified information is not passed. My understanding is there's not such a privilege team in the military context. And so if you could comment on that generally and let me know whether we plan to keep things as they are or possibly have something like that enacted.
We have, one of the things I discovered is that we do not have a similar protocol in place for commissions cases like the one we have in habeas cases. And so the convening authority has developed one. He recently settled on the document, and he put it out to the defense counsel for comment. Imagine the defense counsel are not too happy with it. And so
sure,
the convening authority and the defense counsel will consult each other on the document that the convening authority proposes to put in place, which is modeled after the privilege team protocol for the habeas cases. And there are a number of other reforms that I think we put in place over the last 12 months or so to deal with the situation that you've described.
Okay, great. And I assume at the appropriate point we could get a briefing on that maybe. And lastly, I've got just a short amount of time here. In response to one of the three executive orders that President Obama issued in January '09, my understanding is the White House established an interagency team to question terrorists known as the High Value Interrogation Group. DOD was involved in the creation of this group, that's my understanding, and plays a role in its operations. I don't want you to disclose anything that you shouldn't. Understand you can't share maybe specific details, but could you give us an idea about how well this group is functioning, whether this has been a good development?
I haven't heard of any issues.
I think I think it's only been used in a couple of instances, and I don't think I can go further than that here. I think we've set up the processes, and the intent here was that we would have the ability to fly subject matter experts to a potential capture, so that we had people who had a base of knowledge involved in the questioning rather than just who happened to be there. And so I think that the principle is right. I think we've put the procedures in place to exercise it where necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.